Today we're going to be talking about oiling the valves on a brass instrument with valves. So this will apply to all valved brass instruments except for trombone. So throughout the course of playing, every now and then your valves might get a little gummy. They might stick or they might move slowly. So that is a normal thing, and the fix for that is to oil your valves. Now, even if that's not happening, you probably want to oil your valves at the beginning of each week just for general maintenance. So let's talk about how to do that. There are two ways. There is the official way, and then there's the Mr. Key way. Obviously, since I call it the Mr. Key way, that's the way that I use. The official way, though, it's very important to know because the Mr. Key way is kind of loud and weird, and you wouldn't want to do it in the middle of class or while somebody's talking to you. So the real way, you're going to need, first of all, of course, your instrument, and you're going to need some valve oil. Now, this is the valve oil that I recommend. It is called Blue Juice. It is not actually juice. I don't recommend that you drink it. If you do drink it, you will have to go to a hospital. So do not drink blue juice. It is called blue juice because it is blue, and the phrase blue juice is very cool marketing-wise. So don't drink it, all right? So what you do is you take your blue juice or your equivalent, it should be blue juice, and open your valve. So you don't unscrew this. Don't ever unscrew this unless you're taking it apart to clean it. So that should be screwed in all the way. You screw this part off. This is lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So you're going to screw it counterclockwise. And then when you take the valve out, you're going to see what looks like a cylinder of metal Swiss cheese. It's got holes in it. Yours might look slightly different from this, but mine has kind of a dull metal out here and a goldish type metal up here. Yours is probably a goldish metal up here and a shiny metal down here. So this part down here, the gray part on mine, that is the part where the valve oil actually goes. So if you look at the valve, you'll see right there, hopefully you can see that, mine's got a little number on it. So that is 1 for me. So that's telling me that is my first valve, meaning that it goes in the first valve casing or the pointer finger valve. So that's where this one goes. So what I'm going to do to oil this is set it in a way that this is not going to drip on my pants. It's not going to drip on the carpet that my parents love and will kill me if I get valve oil on, because valve oil doesn't really come out of things all that easily. So if you do spill it, it's not the end of the world. You'll just want to get some soap and water and clean it up ASAP. I had to throw away a pair of pants once because I got some valve oil on it. So anyway, happy stuff. Take your valve oil, put a few drops on this metal part right here. So just making sure that it is wet. You don't have to spray it on there. You don't need a gallon. You just need a little bit, just enough to make sure that it's wet. And then remember we saw the number right here. Now this number on the valve casing should actually face toward you as if you were playing the trumpet. So I've got my trumpet bell down. This number is going to face me as I'm putting it back in. So, and you have to be careful because it will go in the wrong way. So as you're putting it in, it actually clicks into place. Listen to this. So if you put your valve in and it won't move side to side, it's good. Now if you have a Yamaha like I do, it actually clicks into place in 2 places. So you'll want to make sure that the number is facing you. If you put it in and it's just spinning all around, that means that you should pull it out, make sure the number is facing you, and then let it lock into place. And then screw it back in, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Now let me just kind of show you the second valve. Valve number 2 has a 2 on it right there, meaning that it's the second valve, goes in the second valve casing, as in your second finger valve. And here it is. All right, it's locked into place. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, clockwise to screw it back in. Now the Mr. Key way is more fun. It is weird. So what you're going to do is oil everything at the same time. So you're going to take your mouthpiece off, put it somewhere where it's safe, as in not the floor, not the edge of your music stand, where it will then inevitably mouthpiece in a safe place where it will not fall on the floor. The safe place also should not actually be the floor. So then you get your valve oil, the blue juice, which you still should be careful with. Put 2 to 3, maybe 4 drops in the lead pipe. And then this is where it gets weird. Put your mouth over this part right here. Blow as hard as you can for probably 4-5 seconds. And then while you're doing that, pump the valves. It's going to look kind of crazy, so you would only do this before class or at home. You would never do this during class or when somebody's trying to talk to you, because it would be incredibly distracting. It looks like this. Okay, now that the room is spinning and I can see color, that is something that is good for your instrument, especially if you're using blue juice, because the idea is that the air pressure sends the valve oil all around the tubing into the valve casing. It gets on the valves, and you don't even have to take the valves out. And it also lubricates your slides, which is great if you're using blue juice, because blue juice has a detergent in it that supposedly cleans your instrument while you're playing. So my valves should be perfect right now, and they are. So that is my recommendation, as long as it's not in an environment where you would be distracting. If for some reason you have to oil it in the middle of class, I recommend method number 2. No, wait, I lied. Method number 1. Method number 2 is a before class type method. So that is oiling your valves, and that's that.